Oh boy, here we go. Time for Hootenanny, if anybody's old enough to know what that is. This is the Exponential Files. I'm Larry Laufer and joined by Jim Lowenstern every week, my co host and uh, guy about town. We are joined today with an excellent agent, excellent story out of Mexico by way of Vancouver. So I don't know. Is it soccer or ice skating with you, uh, Horatio? This is the Exponential Files. Each week we bring you a guest from around the world doing some incredible luxury kinds of sales. And since we all live in one community, it's our opportunity to share with each other. And we do that through the Castle's workplace. What's the name of that workplace, Jim?
Castle's Luxury
Castle's Luxury. Here we go.
on eXp.
On the eXp workplace, exactly. Horatio, when we spoke earlier today, you and I share one aspect of your trajectory up to and into real estate, but yours is kind of an interesting way you got there. What did you do before you were a real estate agent?
Right. So thank you so much for having me on the show, first and foremost. It's a true privilege. I am here in Mexico. So I was born in Mexico, raised in Canada, where I ran a marketing company for the last 20 years. And then I fell into real estate 10 years ago by pure chance, helping out a Remax agent. And that's how I got myself started as a business developer for realtors. So I did that for 8 years in Vancouver, which is one of the most competitive markets anywhere, and helping agents create predictable businesses at that time with various different brokerages before I found out about eXp. And so that's how I got started. I really learned the real estate business from the ground up by seeing the business of it more than the hands-on. I mean, I really was a part of it as well, but the agents allowed me to see, what was running in behind their business, their scenarios, and really understanding the clients, the brokerage models, and so on, to be able to see what was working and what wasn't, in the big picture.
And yet you're working in Mexico now, where it has no licenses, and what kind of paperwork do you use, and how does it actually work?
So Mexico, and I think the better part of Latin America, and I mean, I was talking to an agent in France as well, and the lack of MLS centralization is the biggest difference. So here, there's no MLS for us agents, and so therefore there can be no licensing of the sort yet. They've tried to create it, as we spoke previously. The task of mounting an MLS national is monumental. And so, again, there are many factors taken into account here in Mexico. A lot of the land has not yet been federalized and so on. So you can't just list it because it's not even on the registry. So how will you value it for on the MLS if it doesn't even have a number on the front door? So those are big cultural differences that, you simply just have to understand. But at the same time, Mexico is a very progressive nation, and they have adapted and adopted systems that they know work, and eXp has been one of them. And it's created an incredible level of organization where, yes, of course, there's no licensing per se yet that's required, but there is a certain level of aptitude and now certifications that are being requested of us agents. So little by little, they will be transforming this.
So Horatio, I have so many questions now. So no licensing required at all to sell real estate in Mexico.
There are only two states right now which are asking for any type of paperwork, and that's Baja and Quintana Roo. But other than that, the other states just don't have the faculty nor the resources to apply any type of.
And where are you? You're near Cancun?
I'm about 12 hours south of Cancun in the state of Chiapas. And yeah, here it's also very much, black words.
So I can automatically say that I'm a Mexican real estate agent and not need a license, right?
So if you're Mexican, you're able to go through it. So you need a
Okay.
work permit. I mean, you need your you need your,
Oh.
not your license. You need your identification. You need to have Mexican nationality and be able to work here legally. And then they
Okay.
give you this, work number.
I'm
basically.
glad. I'm actually glad to hear that.
Yeah,
And
no,
sa-
there is a
same
certain, yeah.
same with Canada. Same with Canada. You can, as a U.S. citizen, go up and hang up, start selling. You
So what's your
Yeah.
eXp story? How'd you hear about it? What's going on with eXp in Mexico?
Sure. So, I mean, my wife and I decided to move down here December 2020. We just had enough of all that was going on in Canada. We'll talk about that in another session, another blog, but we just had enough. And it was December 2020, winter was starting. And I just said, I got to get out of here. I can't be locked in, and let's go to Mexico, right? And we'll see what happens. And so we ended up coming down here, and eXp had just launched. So now backtrack about 3.5 years, again, being a consultant, I'm always looking for solutions and new, better ways to do real estate for my clients primarily. And being on Instagram myself, one night I'm looking at the stories, and who would become my sponsor, John Tsai, posts how he just went from being in this top boutique brokerage in Vancouver to this expa thing, right? And I was like, and that's what I thought. I was like, what's this expa thing? And I had to write him. I said, how it's like watching, I don't know, like Sidney Crosby or, your best favorite athlete go from the best team to like, not even the worst, but like the third league or something for me. I was like, how do I not know of this, right? And that's how I knew that this was big. I said, someone like John's not just going to shift over in the middle of the night and pretend that it's just, not a security. I mean, he's a family guy and so on. And so that's how I was introduced. I wrote him a message. I said, can you please tell me what this expa thing is? And, why would you change this? I mean, you're at the top of your career in a top level brokerage. I mean, like there has to be.
So what did he say to you? What was the conversation like?
4 points immediately. Number one, I mean, the multiple income streams, the revenue share, which he simply wasn't getting, the stock options, which he had tried with his old brokerage to at least see if he could buy into, and it just wasn't available. And then the ability to go and expand nationally, internationally, and be a part of this revolution. I mean, it really is. And that's why, one of my clients had just transferred from one brokerage to Remax. And I said, oh man, I think we made a mistake, right? Because I hadn't learned about this eXp thing yet. But once he explained it to me, I just saw the value immediately because I had seen the conflicts that agents were dealing with in the traditional model, right? So I was completely unbiased in that sense. I had no skin in the game yet. I was just watching it from outside, but still being within.
So I'm guessing that you're enthusiastic about it. You like it. Is there anything that you don't like about it?
I don't. There is very little. I mean,
Okay, good.
It's changed lives. And that here in Mexico, it's done the same. It's given a lot of people that guidance and that organization, which here they were independent agents, or even if you're with a broker, you're not getting all the support. Now I'm hearing the stories of people who've been here with us for 6 months, a year now. I've been 18 months, and lives have been changed in every which way. And
how many agents do you think there are in Mexico at this point?
I think there are about 800 and odd now.
Okay.
Yep.
Spread out
We're
all
close to
over.
1,000. Spread out all over. I mean, there's a lot more, of course, probably in Quintana Roo, where all the activity's happening, but in Baja as well, and Mexico City. I mean, obviously the population there speaks for itself. So no, it's grown very nicely where we can collaborate with agents and find people in those cities and states, which is really what you're trying to do to be able to help your clients.
Are you building a downline, a team? Are you into agent attraction?
So I split my time about 90% helping my agents get leads. So that's how I'm building out the team. I'm very little transaction business, mostly because where I am, it's not the hub of real estate, but I'm here strategically to help my associates grow their business. So I have associates in Vancouver. And I mean, this is the beauty of eXp. My clients, who were my clients, allowed me to join eXp first, knowing the model, understanding if anybody sees obviously the benefit of that. And so out of their loyalty, they allowed me to join first, and then they joined in underneath me. And so that got me started. And as soon as I had 3 or 4 agents, I mean, organically I've grown. I only have 9 agents, but I mean, it's massive considering I'm starting in a new country from scratch. I don't have contacts or, high school buddies or anything like that down here. So it's all been my own, sweat and tears, basically. Very few tears, a lot of sweat.
So I understand that you're married to an Australian woman. So couldn't you have some barbecues and invite people over? You'll make friends, I would bet.
So absolutely. And that's the ticket. I mean, networking in every which way. We arrived at a new town. What I'm saying is we just had to start from,
Yeah.
from zero, really, right? A lot of people have a sphere of influence. They ask me about that, right? I'm like, my sphere of influence are other agents, right? My database of all the agents that I know along the way. And so, but no, most definitely, eXp gives people that ability to go and get themselves involved in the community as well. And
Right.
that's something that I highly promote to my associates.
Right.
Get involved, be a part of the community. Don't just be, this virtual beacon in your office either. Like get out there and really, make
Right.
some noise. Right?
Well, we've got property to show. Let me share my screen here. We'll take a look at what's going on with this. Well, I guess I got to get to my desktop first, and that's showing this. But I can hide that. Hide that. These are all the programs that we run to get the show going. Here, there we go. There's your property. So you want to talk about this for a little bit as I show the
Absolutely.
picture?
Absolutely. So a lot to mention on this product. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous development. So
Where is it?
these developers are actually from Canada. They're Mexican-Canadian like myself, but they operate out of Vancouver. So they're already doing projects in a much higher level and capacity. So this is situated 15 minutes north of Tulum, inside of Bahia Príncipe, which is the largest hotel complex in the Riviera Maya. So the hotel complex itself has created a residential area. So you're gated, you're secure, and you have access to all the hotel amenities, including the Tulum Country Club. So that's just the lifestyle aspect of it. There's a PGA rated golf course inside of the hotel complex, 4 pools, luxury, concierge. I mean, you have everything within the complex itself, and that's where you'll be living. And so these are 19 homes, all 3 bedrooms, spacious, beautifully designed for the long term. These will be luxury properties, either for someone to live, executive families, or we're finding a lot of people, again, in this economy, investing in properties like this for short-term vacation investments, rentals.
So what do I see? 3 bedrooms?
So these are 3 bedrooms. Correct, 1 or 2 level, and the one that I have here.
Just leave it there, Larry. Let me take a look.
Yeah, absolutely. So what we have here, this is a 2 level. We're looking at a 2,800 square foot lot with 2,600, almost 2,700 square feet of construction in 2 levels. Private pool, a lot of garden space, really taking advantage of the environment that Tulum offers. Right, this region of Mexico's lush jungle, a lot of greenery. So you want to keep as much of that as possible. And while at the same time keeping the space open so that you're making most use of the open space windows, the wide windows, really feeling like you're outside while being inside, and vice versa. So yeah, beautifully designed homes. These guys have really.
The second floor has sort of like an open area, sort of like a family area.
Correct. So you have the little couch there on the top, and then you've got the 2 bedrooms to the left and the master on the right. And then you've got the bathrooms.
Larry, pardon me, Horacio. Larry, check the YouTube link. I hear the screen is frozen. Just so you know.
Oh, it might be because we're off on another thing. That
okay.
may be the issue. We'll find out as soon as we leave this. So,
okay, very, very nice. So it's like a plunge pool, right?
Nice little plunge pool. Yep. Come home, enjoy.
Very sweet. So these are, would you call these condexes or a condo?
I don't call these actual residences. I mean, they're wall to wall on the fence, but they're not wall to wall the building itself. So they're actual houses. They're.
So it looks like everything is roofed. Even the outside has a roof over it, or
so no, it's open space. Yeah, you can see the little gaps where the pools and the gardens would be.
So it sort of gives you a little shade with sort
correct.
of. Interesting.
Yeah, correct. And in between, you have the amenities, which is the complex amenities. So if we go forward, there's a yoga space, there's outdoor barbecue space, and a games room for the kids as well. So they've really wanted it to me so that you could live inside and be part of a community as well, not feel this, sort of hermit style living. And even though the houses are all somewhat close, I mean, there's so much space. So once you actually look at the complex, you're like, okay, yeah, no, nobody's, on top of one another in any which way. There's just so much room for
In
everybody.
construction in Mexico, you don't find things like basements, right?
There are no basements down here. No, for the better part, they start at the main level and then upwards. And then depending on the licensing and permits, it's how many floors you can go up. So here, for example, in Quintana Roo, for the better part, it's still only 3 floors and a palapa. In some places, they're starting to allow for 4-floor buildings. But yeah, no, they really try to keep it bohemian chic. Have you guys been to Tulum? Have you guys been to Quintana Roo?
I've been to Cancun at least a couple of times. Tulum, actually, I have. I've done snorkeling in Tulum. Yeah, and I walked.
Perfect place for that.
Walk through the jungle there. I don't think I went through. I guess there's like a spring there that's very famous.
The cenotes.
I don't know.
Yeah, so big watering hole. And I mean,
Yeah.
I asked because there's just so much about Tulum and that area that
very
offers
beautiful.
an incredible experience. Absolutely. And from an investment perspective, I mean, people look at the price and so on, but just go on Airbnb, AirDNA, and look at what the rates are for short-term rentals in those areas and so on. And they're setting the benchmark. I mean, it's the #1 tourist destination in the world now, Cancun.
Really?
25 million tourists a year are arriving, over 500 planes a day, 80% full. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. The only other place that receives just as many visitors, they're not tourists, is Dubai. And that's because most people arrive in Dubai and then they go and branch off from there. You go into the Emirates or so on. But in Cancun, you arrive in Cancun and you're in Cancun. You're not going to arrive in Cancun and go to Mexico City or Guadalajara or anything like that. Like you arrive there and you're going to go to Playa, Tulum, and now they've opened up Bacalar a lot more, promoted it. So
what are the prices on those condos?
So those houses there are a little bit higher up. I mean, we're looking to the $500,000 US property there, and the rental on that is $400 or $500 a night.
What?
Wow, let's go.
So what's the return?
Right now in the Riviera Maya, you're looking on a conservative basis. I tell my clients 8% and as high as, depending on your property. I like to keep it conservative at 12%. And
so is this like an Airbnb situation? Or
sure looks like
yep.
it. Sure
Short-term rental vacations. The whole town has been built out for this, and now the hotel complexes are getting in on it because they see, right? People are picking, Airbnb, especially in these destinations, on a higher rate than hotels. The whole concept of arriving at an all-inclusive hotel and so on, even though it will still live, it's not as prominent as it was back in the 90s, early 2000s. People are now more comfortable arriving at an Airbnb, preparing their own meals, hanging out with their own friends, chilling out, not feeling like they're in an all-inclusive hotel.
And if someone were to buy it and want to then use it as an investment, just to rent it out nightly, are there, with the hotel, I guess, concierge services where the housekeeping is done so the owner of it doesn't have to start hiring?
So the hotel doesn't have anything to do with that part, but the property management will be done by these developers themselves. And there are other property management companies that are just as large as Airbnb, multinationals, and so on, that have come in also, and they will manage a property anywhere between 25, 35%, only on the rental. And so they will come in and do the cleaning, maintenance, management, rental, marketing, and so on.
So you think it's an 8% cap rate, even taking all those expenses into
Even
account?
taking all that expense, yeah. Oh, absolutely. And the biggest difference here, I just went to a presentation, for example, they were promoting Orlando, and the biggest difference is the cost of utility. You cannot compare it. Like here, you're spending a few $100 on your tax, on your internet, on your water, and your electricity bill, right? And whereas in Orlando, okay, fine, like you have similar rates of rental and so on. But once you start looking at the cost, I was like, well, yeah, you can't even begin to compare. So great markets, very attractive. But once you look at the details and the finer print, and for anybody who, is thinking about it and so on, the biggest question that I get is foreigners. How do foreigners buy in Mexico? And I just want to put that very clear because NAFTA has made it so safe for Canadians and Americans, and by proxy, Europeans to buy real estate in Mexico. There's been no issues. There's been no problems. People talk about, taking the land back or anything like that. Like NAFTA has put a stop to any of that idea because, the government doesn't own the real estate anymore. I mean, it's federalized. So
What about financing, or are mostly sales cash?
yeah, so obviously the developer and the seller will provide a better financing option or a better price if you come in with mostly cash and upfront and so on. It's pre-developments that you want to get in on, of course. So my job is to find pre-developments that are going to be handed in, that they're self-financed. And so those are the things that I look for. But if they need financing, absolutely. HSBC and another bank from Spain are now offering financing again. They had already begun back in 2008, and then they kind of had to learn their way around it, right? Again, the banking and economy and so on of Mexico is very different. So now they're starting to offer it. I do have providers I work with, and so yeah, we can get people qualified and at least see if they, if they can go through it.
You have to provide us with all this information, because it sounds like a no-brainer for a lot of people. They could have like a vacation home for a couple of weeks a year and probably even get income as well with not a
mortgage paid.
Yeah, with not a whole lot of money down.
Yeah.
And
Right.
then you have the possible appreciation too.
Yeah.
I mean, I delve in the medium to higher end stuff. I've got studios for as low as 130,000, and studios and one bedrooms in Tulum are in higher demand, mostly because people just don't spend time inside, right? They leave their things. They want to be secure, maybe have a splash pool when they come out in the evening. But if you're in Tulum, I mean, if you're in the lifestyle of Tulum, you're outside like most days and most nights for sure. Because
So remind me, is Tulum like halfway between Cancun and Playa del Carmen?
No, so it's, we should have gone through the map. It's okay. So we got Cancun, then we've got Playa, and then we've got Tulum.
Okay.
So right now, Tulum is about an hour and a half south. And I'll add on to the bonus of why this is a no-brainer. This is just getting started. Tulum in 3 years will have its own private airport, which will double the rate of tourists arriving. Right now, there are about 4 million people arriving in Tulum each year, which you have to arrive in Tulum. You have to take a bus or a car or so. So when you arrive, you arrive. It's 4 million people. They're going to add and double on the airport. So that's coming in 3.5 years, give or take, even less. By 2024, they say it'll be ready. And then they've approved a train that's going to connect the 5 states. So Campeche, Tabasco, Yucatan, Quintana Roo, and Chiapas are going to have a train system that's going to connect all the main cities. And I mean, this isn't just going to be a train. This is going to be, each station is going to be like its own little hub. So there's real estate coming.
That's going to take a while to build, though.
They're already started. Yeah, they've already started. They've got a timeline. Oh no, I mean, these things are, like I said, this is just getting started. And they just announced there's an F1 Formula One racing track being built. Like, they're making a little Monaco here. That's what they're doing. They have no intention of going towards a lower, and again, like, I don't mean to disrespect anybody. I was a backpacker myself, but they're not trying to aim towards that industry. They want people who are showing up to go scuba diving and spend thousands of dollars on high-priced extreme activities like that. Or else at least sit down and go to the cenotes and chill out, hang out at the pyramids, go view, 1,000-year-old history.
Right?
Chichen Itza, that's right, the Tulum pyramids.
So I remember I took a ferry from Playa del Carmen to Cozumel for scuba diving. Also did some diving in Cancun. The diving in Cancun was so, very little depth there. So what's it like in Tulum? I just remember snorkeling, so I didn't do diving there.
That's a wonderful question. So Cozumel is known for its incredible points. I'm sure you went there. I mean, you get off the ferry and it's Rolex and Tang Heuer right away, right? It's like, you're diving, when your dive watch is right there in this tiny little island. But Tulum has the benefit that you can actually go into the ocean, nice little short boat ride, and you're scuba diving in some of the most beautiful waters. Or else you can now go into the caves. So if you're a more experienced diver, they just discovered the world's largest underground river system, right? And so they're all connected. It's over 2,000 kilometers now that they've been able to connect and network. And this has taken almost 20 years because, of course, dive-ins, 20 minutes at a time, right? And like lining it up.
Right.
So
Yeah.
that has taken a serious amount of time. But, we've got National Geographic down there doing documentaries almost on a monthly basis on this because they've discovered, I mean, now we're in a whole other on a whole other theme, but the things that they've discovered are changing history and so on. So that's the market that they're building out. It's this luxury, high attraction. They're really aiming for that Monaco client, that Dubai client, that client that has $500,000 to have a vacation property and write it off as like here at eXp. There's an agent that owns a property down there, and he kind of gives it away to his top salesman for the month, right? And he buys him the ticket, and he's got the house down there, and he writes. So there's a lot of strategies to this. I mean, who wouldn't want to be receiving a 1 week?
So speaking of eXp, so you're licensed in Canada. You're still kind of selling, or you have?
I'm not licensed in Canada.
Vancouver.
I'm not licensed in Canada. That's yeah.
Okay.
No, I'm just fully operational here. But my agents in Canada are licensed, of course. Yeah.
Okay. Good.
This is
Mary?
I think to share with the audience, I was just watching our tech. It is, in fact, when we share our screen, share my screen. So we'd have to have another screen to share to get that stuff up. That's what stopped. But it was interesting to watch because I can watch the number of people watching. So it fell off when the screen froze, but they came back. So people were just sitting there. Maybe they could hear us. I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. But this whole technology thing, I just want to bring up a quick rant, is communication. It used to be where you answered your phone or somebody came to your office. Now there are at least 45 ways to communicate to somebody. You can call them, you can text them, you can email them, you can TikTok them, it's endless. And unless you understand all of these technologies, you're going to miss some people. Unless as an agent, you don't ask how someone likes to be communicated with. We had a show last week, and the technology was we did it the way that we've been doing it for 3 years. The person that we were having on does it a different way. So because we didn't use the app that they use, they missed it. And it's like, oh my God, how many more ways are there? Anyway, I'm kind of done for the moment. We're back up. It's like, ask your client how they want to be communicated with, and so you won't make that mistake. We didn't because, I didn't because I thought I knew,
Don't worry about it.
I'm not. It's
we got Horacio here. So Horacio, what are the plans? What are the goals for your real estate moving forward, your career? And if you want to talk about that.
Absolutely. I mean, my goal right now is to continue the expansion, to continue to collaborate with agents like yourself, to build the name of eXp here in Mexico, to be an ambassador for this company here, and to leverage the contacts and obviously my life in Canada with the opportunity here to teach agents in the States and Canada about how to diversify in real estate and invest in countries like Mexico and get good returns that are safe and secure, and also how to have fun while investing or participating in real estate. Because at the end of the day, this is transforming so many people's lives. And so if I can highlight and showcase what Mexico has to offer to the world, that's how we're going to be able to grow eXp. That's how I'm going to be able to grow my business and help your clients as well.
So when you're marketing those properties, are they being marketed in Mexican pesos or American dollars or euros or all the above?
All the above, but they're priced in dollars right now for the better part. I'm focused, like I said, on the more medium to higher level projects. And so they're priced in US dollars. Then you have the more national products, and then they'll be priced in Mexican pesos. But again, I don't have too many contacts down here, so I'm focused more on the US dollar transaction, which is in high demand.
Somebody always asks the question, Bitcoin, will you accept, that kind of community?
Dogecoin only.
That's going on. I mean, there are some projects there's some developers who are starting to accept Bitcoin. So yes, I can definitely
Yeah.
put you and guide
Yeah.
you into projects like that. 100%. Yeah, I've got a beautiful actual project. The gentleman's
But
from
what's the average commission where you are? Percentage?
So, that's a wonderful question. So when I arrived here, everybody told me, oh, it's 4%. I said, 4%? And then you got to split it? And they said, yeah. Well, right now I've negotiated as high as 8%. So this is where I'm heading. I mean, everything that people told me, when I first got here, people said, oh, nobody's going to give you an exclusive property. I mean, I had a project, I have this property, I've got listings coming, I've got land in Cancun coming, all an exclusive. Everybody said, nobody's going to give you more than 4%. I'm getting 8%, on average 7 right now on my property. So again, I think this is the eXp strength where we've put more emphasis and more benefit towards the seller. I'm not just some agent that's going to throw it up on Craigslist and see what happens. Like I actually have a strategy. I've got a team and a massive company with whom we promote with. And
83,000 agents in 23 countries, including Dubai, where money will flow into those developers for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
These are the things. Yeah, these are the things you only hear on the Exponential Files. So tune in next week, and you can listen to us have more stories.
Next week is who?
Is Jason Gessing, CEO of eXp.
CEO, that's right.
Phenomenal. We'll all be here.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much.
Recording
Thank you,
stopped.
Horacio.